hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. It is your girl Color Me Badly, and back to share part 2 of some of my gorgeous, sexy, beautiful, outstanding oud fragrances. Again, if you're not familiar with our channel, we want to welcome you. We are glad to have you. Happy to meet your acquaintance. If this is your very first time ever meeting me, again, I am your girl Color Me Badly, and at least that's what I go by over here on YouTube and also Instagram. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We talk mainly about fragrances, those that are in my collection, those that are on my wish list, those that may be in your collection and your wish list, all things beauty. So if you're interested to find out what fragrances I'm coming on to share today in part 2 of my beautiful, sexy, seductive, I could go on and on, oud fragrances, please continue to watch. Alright, so I hope I haven't kept you guys waiting too long, but I promised at least a part 2 of oud fragrances. And this is that time of year where if you love oud fragrances, if you love Beast Mode Mama Girl fragrances, this is the time to wear them. If you've watched any of my previous recordings, you will know that I love to wear these types of fragrances all year round. But this time especially is really a nice time, especially those with oud, leather, and rose. Ooh la la. So let's get into it. The very first fragrance I want to share with you guys, this one is called Midnight Oud. And I'm going to bring the bottle in a little bit closer. If you look this one up to kind of like find the notes, you may find that the bottle design may be a little bit different. I'm really glad that I was able to get this bottle because it is so cool. I love the crown top. I thought that was a really nice touch. You do have to from time to time kind of run your fingers through here and make sure there's no dust particles or anything like that. You know, they settle really quickly. So I don't wear this fragrance a whole lot, but I found myself reaching for this and a couple of other fragrances when I'm not feeling my best, not sick or anything like that, but you know, sometimes you just need a mood booster. I like to refer to it as being in the mood for oud. And this is one of those fragrances that I reach for if I've had a really long day. And again, if I'm not feeling my best, you know, sinuses got the best of me, so on and so forth. This is one of those fragrances that I reach for. And if you're into fragrances and notes, once I read the notes to you, you'll understand why. So let's kind of go over, they give us a little bit of notation on what's in this fragrance, and I thought that I would share that with you guys. Midnight Oud is Ard Al Zarafam's fragrance. So that's where this offering comes from. It is an amber spicy fragrance for women and men. You'll find that I like a lot of, and I'll share a lot of fragrances that are typically unisex. And some of them are even geared more towards men. They'll say this is a men's fragrance. You of course know that you can wear whatever you want to. When it comes to fragrances like this, though, they normally lean more on the masculine side. And so some of the ones that I will be sharing with you guys will probably either be unisex or men fragrances. All right, this is a new fragrance. Midnight Oud was launched back in 2021, so it hasn't been around very long. Your top notes of this fragrance, and this is what you're supposed to get when you first spray this fragrance out. You get oregano, you get pimento, and you get bergamot. So right there is one of the reasons why I probably lean towards spraying out on this fragrance a little bit when I'm not feeling my best, because you well know you can take oregano oil and dab it behind the earlobes or your pulse points when you're not feeling well or you feel like you're coming down with something, and it can help in the assistance of nipping whatever is trying to attack your body all the way. All right, your middle notes is what I love to call your heart note. And it's albanum, it's opanox, it has amber and labdamen. So this has a lot of spices, a lot of medicinal notes in it, a lot of healing components in this fragrance or cologne. This is really an offering. Your base notes are agarwood, which is your oud, which I love. It also has a leather in it, and it also has sandalwood and patchouli. So it has some of my favorite notes in it. This is not a really sweet or fruity fragrance or cologne or offering from Art Al Zarafam. The only thing that they mention in this that has anything to do with the food category would be bergamot, which is an Italian lime. It also has pimento in it. And then oregano, which is your spices. Then you got your amber, patchouli, sandalwood, openox, albinum, leather. These are all materials that are going to give you that solid form and fragrance that is going to give you a huge healing component in your notes and fragrances. And this does last and last and last. I'm a really heavy sprayer when it comes to my fragrances in my colognes. And if you have that issue as well, you do not want to go too heavy on your sprays or colognes, especially if you have a significant other that doesn't like heavy scented, heavy oils, or they may not even like the smell of oud. So you want to make sure that you check with your significant other in reference to whether or not they like this cologne and fragrance, so you'll know before you go crazy and spraying this gorgeous amber spicy fragrance that is unisex from Art Al Zarafam. Okay, so next on the list is a fragrance that doesn't list that it has any oud in it. But again, if you collect fragrances, you know that they don't always list everything that is in your cologne and fragrances. This is a part of my Middle Eastern fragrance collection. And I'm telling you right now that even though this would be deemed more of a spring and summertime fragrance, for me, this fragrance works beautifully in the cold weather. And I'm willing to put a small wager, a really small wager, that this has a little bit of oud in it. This is the bottle here. This is Durham Wardy, okay? And I've talked about this fragrance a couple times. I'm sure I have. It's a really, really light citrus, a light sensual fragrance. It has a beautiful, beautiful scent to it. I'll go ahead and get into what's actually in this fragrance. I've had it in my collection for quite some time. I don't spray out on this one all that much. But it's so beautiful. I can't wait to actually just wear this where someone else would enjoy this with me. This is one of those types of fragrances. This is not something that you will wear to work, waste wearing to work, or going for a nice walk, or doing your laundry or grocery shopping. This is something that you will wear for a nice intimate setting with your significant other, someone where you're going to wear this and they're going to be a little bit closer to you, and they're going to enjoy this scent with you, is what this makes me feel like. I've tried to wear this before, just to wear it to get the vibe for it. It's absolutely gorgeous. You will go nose blind to this fragrance at some point in wearing it. I don't know what it is about this fragrance, but when I've worn it before, people can actually smell this on me, so that's a good thing. This again is Durham Wardy by Ard Al Zarafam. So this is another offering from Ard Al Zarafam. It is a fragrance for women. Of course, anyone who wants to wear this fragrance absolutely can. Normally, and I don't know why they, gender make fragrances gender specific, but it's probably because a lot of the fragrances for women are a little bit softer, maybe a little bit sweeter. A lot of male fragrance. This smells so delicious. A lot of the fragrances that you'll find that cater more towards men, maybe a little bit more heavy or a little bit spicier. So it just depends, and anyone can actually wear this. It's really funny to me how now that it's cold outside, that a lot of fragrances that I've been spraying out on lately smell so good to me, opposed to when I spray out on them in the summertime. Because I'm telling you, I sprayed out on this past summer and it didn't do what it just did for me just now. This is delicious, you guys. It's so pretty. Like, okay, your top notes of this fragrance are rose, orange blossom, pear, black currant. Your middle notes of this fragrance are praline. You've got jasmine in this. You've got iris. Your base notes, which is the ending part of this fragrance, you get patchouli, vanilla, and tonka bean. This is gorgeous. And like I said, I sprayed out on this this past summer, and it smelled good, but it didn't smell like it smells right now to me. This is absolutely gorgeous. It's a wonderful scent of black currant. You get your orange blossom, you get a little bit of pear and rose, and I got that in my very first blast. I could smell the orange, I could smell the rose. It's so pretty, you guys. I love a fragrance with black currant in them, and I love pear, juicy pear. It's got a little sweetness to it. Then you got your orange blossom and your rose. They could have stopped there. It's so pretty. I mean, absolutely gorgeous. Then you got your jasmine, of course. You've got vanilla. You've got tonka bean. You got patchouli. It doesn't say that it has oud in it, but it's got just a little bit of woodiness to it, just enough to make this stick to your skin for hours and hours at a time. Now, I do want to note to you that just because this fragrance lasts a long time on me doesn't mean that it's going to happen that way for you. I hope that it does if you decide to add this to your collection. But it doesn't mean that. And I have added some things to my collections in the past that smell amazing on other people, and then when I get it, it's like, but it doesn't smell like that on me. You know what I'm saying? So it depends on your body type, your pheromones, your skin, how you layer, the chemicals that are inside of your body, as far as the food you intake that you have taken in, what type of vitamins you take, what type of medications you're on, if you're on any. So all of that plays major roles in your fragrances. But this is good, you guys. It is so pretty. Like, I'm going to keep this out where I'm going to remember to kind of spray out on this a couple times this winter, because normally I have this kind of pushed to the side not to touch it. As you can see, I still have the little tag on it, so that's how much I've preserved this fragrance. I spray out on it and play around with it, but never anything really serious. Like I said, this is more of an up close and intimate, sexy date night type of a fragrance, but it's so good, and it's one of the most beautiful offerings that I have in my Middle Eastern fragrance collection. Doesn't mention that it has any oud, but I smell a little oud. Okay, next on the list of fragrances that I'm enjoying and plan to enjoy in the cooler months and beyond, Middle Eastern fragrances that are in my collection. Did I mention earlier that this is part 2? Yeah, just wanted to make sure you guys knew that if you didn't hear me saying that earlier. So this fragrance, I believe, is another fragrance from the house of Lattafa. If you haven't figured it out by now, I love Lattafa fragrances. I'll take all of them, even if I don't like them. This one, I have to read this one because I have these glasses on and not my regular glasses. This one is Rams Lattafa Gold, okay? And this is the bottle here. I'll bring it in so you guys can see that. Isn't that cute? You can find this for like really affordable prices. So, you know, it looks like it looks a little intimidating. The bottle is really heavy. The fragrance is really pretty. But then you can find this for a really cheap price. Rams Lattafa Gold by Lattafa Perfumes is a fragrance for women and men. And I agree. And it's a really sweet cologne, but definitely a man and a woman could wear this. I will share with you, and I shared with the company that sent this to me, that the sprayer on this is really bad, like really bad. They reached out to me a couple of times to try to accommodate me, and we haven't come to a resolution on how I can be compensated for my troubles. But Rams Lattafa Gold by Lattafa Perfumes is a fragrance for women and men. Your top notes are pineapple, you've got apple and bergamot at the very burst of your fragrance, and you could smell those notes. Like, you can really smell them, but there's also like a little bit of a chemical, like almost like a cough medicine syrupy smell that may throw a couple of people off. I don't know if one of the fruity notes is synthetic or if all of them are synthetic, so it's a little bit weird smelling coming out of the nozzle. But if you're a person that doesn't mind waiting on your fragrances to mature and develop, you are in for a treat. Your middle notes are jasmine. You have sandalwood, patchouli. You have guac wood. Then you also have your base notes, which is a musk, which is your animalic component to this fragrance. You have agarwood in this, which has oud in it. It has amber, vanilla, and ylang ylang. So it's loaded with fruit, juicy fruit, citrus fruit, white florals. It's really woody. If you love a patchouli fragrance, it has a plethora of woods in it. It's a wood-based fragrance. I mean, it's really, really oudy, but it's so sweet and creamy. And like I said, if you let this fragrance die down, if you have patience with your fragrances, like most of us do that collect, this turns into something so beautiful. Like, I really, really love that. And my hopes for this particular fragrance is, because this was a different company that I was working with when they sent this to me, is hopefully I can just swap out and get another bottle of this, because I like my sprayers to go. You know what I'm saying? I don't want my finger to start hurting as I'm trying to spray. I want to enjoy this, right? And so hopefully I'll end up being able to exchange this for a different fragrance. But if you're looking for an absolutely sexy, seductive, unisex fragrance, Rom's Lattafa Gold by Lattafa Perfumes is perfect. And ladies or gentlemen, if your significant other loves to play around in your fragrances, grab 2 bottles. All right, now, so we're representing today for Lattafa Fragrances. Don't you know it? Don't you know it? Look at all that. I gotta get organized, y'all. I've been trying to organize all my fragrances, and I don't know what when I get started, because I don't know what I want to give away. I'm in the middle of like an organization, decluttering, giveaway. It's the holiday time. I don't want to put fragrances up in shelving that I will be gifting away that I've never used before. You know, that kind of thing. So hopefully you can feel my pain on that. It's ridiculous, that part. All right, so let's go on with our next fragrance. Again, it is a fragrance from the House of Lattafa. This is another offering. I've shared this fragrance with you guys before about how much I like it. This is another one of those fragrances that you have to be in the mood for. If you don't like saffron, you're not going to like this fragrance. If you don't like oud, you're not going to like this fragrance. It is down in the trenches with it, okay? This is the packaging that it comes in. Let me take her out. And yes, I keep her inside of her little hat box is what I call it, because I like to make sure that we preserve the beautification of this bottle. You can kind of see how much juice I've used of this fragrance. And I've probably only worn this fragrance maybe 3 or 4 times. Maybe 4. I know 3 for sure. I can remember 3 times for sure. I'm a heavy sprayer. So when I tell you guys I'm a really heavy sprayer, that's what I mean by that. I go heavy on my sprays. Okay, where were we, darling? Oh. Dear Color Me. Don't drop your bottles. Okay, so let's get into what this fragrance is. This one is Oud Mood by Lattafa. This is a fragrance for women and for men. In my opinion, I can't say that. I was getting ready to say it lean more toward the feminine. I can't say that. Girl, when I tell you, this is so, I don't wear this a lot, but when I do spray out on this, I get carried away. I don't know what. I'm like, oh my God, this smells good. And I'll come back once it starts down and spray myself again. It's ridiculous. This is so pretty, you guys. Let me just share what's in this. Again, this is a Lattafa perfume. It's an offering from the House of Lattafa, which is a Middle Eastern fragrance house. The top notes of this are rose, saffron, and pimento. This is another one of those fragrances that I reach for when I may not be feeling my best. I mean, not, like I said, not sick. Sometimes you just wake up in the morning and you just moving a little bit slower than others. Instead of 1 cup of coffee, you need 12. That kind of day, that kind of morning. This is so delicious, you guys. Your middle notes are what I love to call your heart notes. They hit us with the oud in the middle of this. You get caramel or caramel, depending on how you pronounce it. Okay, so in your middle notes, we get agarwood, which is your oud. Caramel, yes, I'm repeating myself. Floral notes and patchouli. Your base notes are resins. Oh, give me some resins. Amber, woody notes, incense, and musk. So resin can be the drippings from old wood, which is oud. It could be so many different things. But this is so good, you guys. I mean, I don't want to get into the details of this, but this is beautiful. Like, this is a fragrance that I would repurchase. This is a repurchaser. So this is something that if I were to ever use this up, that I would repurchase this. It is a beautiful, beautiful offering from Lattafa. All right, so that one is for men and women. They have one that is specifically for men, so we don't bring that one on as well. And instead of going through all of the notes, I just want to show you it comes in like the exact same packaging with silver. And then we want to take it out of the box, and this is what it looks like. And this is Reminiscence. And this one again is Oud Mood Silver by Lattafa. Gorgeous, gorgeous fragrance. Now this one is listed as a man's fragrance. And I can get that because it kind of has a green mossiness to it. It's not as sweet as it does have when you first spray this out. It does have a little bit of a aftershavey vibe to this. And so this one is geared more towards a masculine scent palette. But there's something about this that I absolutely love. And like I've shared with you before, I love male fragrances. Not that it's just something about some men's fragrances that can go both ways that just smell so good to me, and they smell so good on me. And so when I find one, or I'm able to choose and send for one, and the choices are, yay and nay, I normally go with, when it comes to fragrances like this, one that's unisex or a male fragrance. And you really can't tell. Once you layer this fragrance and put on your lotions and your creams, this is so gorgeous, you guys. If you don't like the scent of like cactus and pine, mossiness, your greenness, you're not going to care for this. If you don't like an aromatic aquatic fragrance, you're not going to care for this. If you don't like oud, you're not going to care for this. But if you like those types of notes and you don't have Oud Mood Silver in your collection, I highly recommend that you add this. This is a beautiful offering. It's not like anything I have in my collection. It's a little bit minty, fresh, spicy, like I said, extremely green. So if you don't like a green, mossy, aquatic scent, you're not going to care for this. If you don't like the smell of the aftershave vibe or barbershop scent, you're not going to care for this. Such a gorgeous fragrance, you guys. Okay, so whenever I do a recording, I try to make the best fragrance for last, the Dom Julion of them all. Well, all of these are that, and so I couldn't put them in any particular order on, best to worst, my favorite, my number one, my number two. We'll come on and do that at a later date, but I just wanted to share these fragrances with you guys, and some of them you may already have in your collection, or have had them, didn't like them, you gave them away, so on and so forth. But these are ones that I have in my collection. I always talk about my Middle Eastern fragrance collection. I just love them so much, and so because we're in that season, I wanted to come on and share them. And so I think this is going to be the last one we share today. This one, I can't remember how I ended up with this fragrance in my collection. I had the original Club de Nuit in my collection, and I don't know if I was watching something or what the case may be on how I ended up with this one in my collection, you guys. But this fragrance is outstanding. If you don't have it in your collection, it's okay. They still sell it. You've got time. No worries. This is the bottle here. It looks heavy. It is heavy. I'm not a huge fan of, whatever they want to call these special decorations. But listen, this is some good juice. Do you understand? And so I thought I would come on and share this one. And I wasn't even sure if this one had oud in it. And so when I started to look up the notes in it, it does. There is a men's fragrance of this, but men and women can both wear this. It's not unisex. It is specifically for women, they say. But anyone who wants to wear this fragrance absolutely can. This is from the House of Armaf. This is Club de Nuit Intense Armaf for women. It has rose, it's fresh spicy, it's warm spicy. It has patchouli, vanilla, oud, it's woody. It has pink florals in it. It's balsamic. I can go on and on about this. So the Club de Nuit Intense by Armaf is a Chefra floral fragrance. I have several Chefra floral fragrances in my collection. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I don't know if it's Chefra, Chypre, Chefra. Floral fragrance for women. Of course, anyone who wants to wear this absolutely can. Your top notes are rose, and you get there right out of the gate. You got rose, you got saffron. If you don't like a violet saffron note, you're not gonna like this because it's got rose, saffron, and geranium right at the. I don't know how they got the idea to combine those three florals together, but that was one of the most. This is just gorgeous, you guys. You have to put your nose on this to see what I'm talking about. It's just one of those. Your middle notes are nutmeg, pepper, violet, and caraway. That's your middle note. That's your heart note. Then your base notes, this is what you're supposed to get at the very end of your fragrance. It's addicting. Base notes are patchouli, vanilla, you get agarwood, which is your oud, and then amber at the base of this fragrance. It's so good. It's so delightful. It doesn't smell like or feel like when you first spray this out that this is heavy. It doesn't seem like it's going to last very long. This is a heavy hitter. It lasts beyond. So be very careful with your sprays, especially if you have on clothing that you're spraying and you don't like those scents to kind of linger on your clothing. It will stay on your garments until you launder them. It will. This is very, very strong, very, very potent. It's a beautiful fragrance. It's a delightful fragrance. But if you wear different fragrances, and the same jackets and scarves, you're going to start to mix all different types of smells together, and after a while your scarves and your wigs may start to smell a little weird. Over perfumed is what I like to say. There are ways to get through that if you don't launder your scarves often, or if they're wool, or if you wear wigs and you wear them more than a week, maybe you take them off, but you still wear maybe the same one. You can steam them. There's so many different ways where you can kind of get that smell out of there. It's not a bad smell. It's an amazing smell, especially if this is your signature scent. This is signature scent worthy, most definitely. So I could definitely see someone wearing this every day and nothing else. It smells that delicious. I'm just one of those kind of people that like to switch up my fragrances, because I like to mix and mingle my fragrances and see what works with what, and I like to experiment is what I like to do, because it's fun and it helps you to create your own scent. So somebody could be wearing the same fragrance as you, but if you've mixed it up and you're wearing it with a different cream and you're wearing it with another fragrance or body mist, it'll smell a little bit different on you. And so you kind of make it specific to your taste and your liking. So I wanted to come on and share. This is the last fragrance of part 2 of my Middle Eastern sexy, beautiful, classy, whatever you want to call them, oud fragrances in my collection. Hopefully you have enjoyed the fragrances that we have shared today. I definitely have fun kind of going down memory lane and sniffing some of them, because I don't spray out on these every day. And sometimes you have to pull them, dust them, rearrange them. As you can see, like I said before, I've got fragrances that I need to place on shelving, some that I want to give away for, holiday gifts and things of that nature. And so I'm in that process, and I'm one of those kind of people that it takes a minute. I have to see it in my head first and then do it. And so I'm in the middle of that now. And so I discovered these fragrances looking through some things and said, these are the ones that I'm going to come on and talk about next. And some of them I've seen some other content creators talking about, and some of them I haven't heard anyone share. And so I was really excited about coming on and sharing my thoughts about them and how much I enjoy those fragrances. So thank you guys again for watching. I greatly appreciate all of your love and your support. Again, I am Color Me Bad Lynn. You know where to find me here on YouTube. You can also check in with me over on Instagram. I'll be happy to meet your acquaintance. It is at Color Me Bad _ Lynn. I still haven't memorized that. What is the problem? Thank you guys for watching. Happy holidays to everybody. Peace.